Okay, hey guys, it's Daz again. Let me atom the WattbikeAtomZwifter. So the first thing I want to say is a bit of an apology. My first ever video stream, I thought it went okay. Clearly, when I played it back, there was some issues with cropping of the image. So I was referring to things on screen without a cursor for a start off, and also talking about things which you couldn't even see. So there's lesson one. Make sure that when you do your recording that the viewer can actually see everything that you're talking about. So I'm going to jump straight in with any of these maps, and I'm going to ride with Liliana just as an example. Don't know who Liliana is, but we'll just use her as an example just so that we can get into game. So just waiting for this to load up. Just so that you know, I'm actually on the PC again now. I do normally work on an Apple TV when I'm doing this in person. So there you go. You just get a pedal assist, and it'll scream to an absolute halt because I don't have my device paired. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to click on Liliana, and I'm going to follow her on this route. So as you can see, rather kind of inconveniently, for the sake of me doing this recording, the camera, when you do follow anybody in just follow mode or you know, kind of what's the right word for it? Sort of like stalking mode, I suppose you could call it, but watching mode. That's it. That's what I'm trying to think of. It does toggle all the way through it, so there's no way of kind of holding that off. So yeah, so just talking through a little bit of technique when you start doing these sort of like maps. You can see that what this Liliana's doing is looking at the list on Zwifters. She's actually, it looks like she's with somebody, same country flag. So she's actually training with a friend. She may well be chatting away to her either on Skype or Discord, which is another favourite. They'll be helping each other along. There'll be one that takes the lead on the front for a little bit, and then the other one will take over, just so that you can get a benefit from the draft. When the camera changes around, you might be able to work out what bike that they're both on. Give it another couple of cycles so it'll come back round onto it. I think one of them was on one of the S-Works, a Specialized. It always takes longer to get onto the view that you want. There's one that's a Wrigley, there you go, and the one on the left, the red one, is a Specialized. So hopefully the next shot, there you go. So she's riding, Liliana herself is riding a Ridley, and her friend Miss Gomez is riding a Specialized. The key thing about this is if you are doing this to get a benefit from a draft, don't do it on a team time trial bike. Sorry, a time trial bike. I've still got team time trial in my head because I did a race last night. You just don't draft. The character on the bike stays in the tucked position for streamlining, and you don't really get any benefit of any draft. So what you should be able to see is as Liliana tucks in behind, well, let's call her Maria. I don't know what her name is. Tucks in behind Maria. She should start to sit up slightly. There you go. So she's sat up. So she's now in the draft of Maria. And that means that she's not putting out as much. If you look at the watts per kilogram now on the right-hand side, you can see that Liliana is only pushing out 1.3 watts per kilogram. Compared to Miss Gomez, who's just suddenly dropped off completely inconvenient. Right, so they're swapping places. You can see what happened there is Maria Gomez, it looks like she's either had a connection problem there, so she's dropped to 0 watts per kilogram, and Liliana is on 1.1. It may well be that these two weren't... She's gone. She's obviously finished her ride. Let's just try and jump to somebody else that's moving along, if I can find somebody. There we go. So we've got a pair of people, both with Canadian flags. Looks like one is taking a lead and one is actually drafting. So you can see that both of these are they're riding right next to one another, behind one another. You can see that Doyle at the minute, if you look in the top left, he's putting out 1.7 watts per kilogram, 130-ish watts. If I jump onto Bryant, for the same sort of speed that they're doing, at 16 kilometers an hour, So that's Doyle 131. Bryant is doing 10 watts more on this. When you start looking at you know, faster watts per kilogram, the difference in watt output for the same kph is bigger. And if you get into a group of say 2 or 3 people that are all working together in a peloton, you can now see the benefit of doing things like team time trials, because you can take a good stint on the front. You can see here, look, you've got about a 0.2 watts per kilogram difference between Bryant and Doyle, when Doyle is now sitting behind Bryant. But you get the same, you get dragged along, so you get pulled along at the same speed, but you're putting out less effort, therefore you're having a longer time to recover. And it's that sort of technique that is very similar to cycling in real life. It's easier to be protected, if you like, from the wind, the aerodynamic resistance, if you're tucked in behind somebody, because they're getting it before you are. So that's just a little lesson for you now, which I'm going to upload. Hopefully this has all worked. So this little video, I suppose I should have said at the beginning, is just to explain the benefits and the training benefits, particularly of getting yourself ready for racing by finding anybody who is on Zwift and either tucking behind them craftily so they don't know you're there, and you know, until they get fed up with you, they'll try and either burn you off by pedaling faster, or they'll just leave the map. There's no harm in doing it. What you will find is when you get out onto the bigger maps, like Watopia, there's much more choice of people to go around. So I'm just going to, what I'll do is I'll end this ride. I'll just show you what I mean before I go. Don't want to save that. Okay, so there was my second mistake on the second video. When I tried to change maps on this PC, I don't know if it's on all PCs, but it just cut straight back to desktop. So I then had to reload Zwift to get into it. So again, I'll learn something on every single video I make, I'm sure. That's part of the fun, I suppose. Right. What I've now found is I'm in the jungle circuit. I've managed to find a group of 4 people. I don't think that they are in a single team. If you look at the names on the right hand side there, they're all pretty much, well, I think, is that, yeah, so Bergland, hang on, he's in there as well. Right, so from Bergland forward, they're all different countries. So what they're doing is they're probably just having a bit of a jolly free ride. You can see that none of them, these first 4, Bergland, Don't Give Up, what a great name, and Johansson and Mailer, don't have the chart, the graph symbol, so they're not in a program, or just very quickly. No, it's gone. Right, hang on, it'll come back on at the minute. At the bottom, you'll see a little symbol in the bottom. I didn't really know what these symbols meant. It might have actually completely disappeared. Oh, these guys are going through a different. So that's a level gateway. So that means that they've got to be a particular level to go through that green gateway. Anyway, I digress. So, oh, and there's Bergland now. He's just put on a program. Right. So now we've got 3 guys. None of them have got the program symbol, so they're all free riding. What these guys are doing is they are benefiting from one another's draft. So there you go. You've now got Mr. Soul at the front. In fact, no, we haven't. We've got, oh, what's going on? Right. So there we go. We've got Mr. Soul. He's on the front. You've got, no, we haven't. Talking rubbish. We've got Mr. Mail at the front. You've got Johansson behind him. You've got DR and Don't Give Up, and Mr. Bergland is dropping right back because he's in a program. You can see that he's got like a yellow thing on the front of his thing, and he's got the symbol for the chart, which means he's actually riding on a pre-programmed kind of fitness thing within Zwift. Fitness thing, is that a word? Right, so coming back to these guys, now they've got a bit of a climb on. They're doing the Alpe Zwift. It's quite a good map actually to demonstrate this. So you can now see that on the inclines, nobody really benefits that much from a draft, because you're all kind of feeling the pain of gravity, pulling back on your legs. You can see that this Van der Weel is dropping back. You've got Norton ahead, Hill and De Vries. There really isn't anything that these guys Can I turn around? Oh yeah, I can actually look around. I can see people coming down down the hill. I didn't realise we could do that. Ah, there's a new feature. I didn't even know about that. Right, so these people are just starting out doing the AtomZwifter, so they're right at the bottom. You can see that it's a real grind when you get onto this one. Oh, and I'm just sitting there doing nothing. Right, let's go back into this one then here. Try and find another peloton that's not doing the AtomZwift. Here we go. Right. So what you can see is that this bunch of people, they're all in a line, but you can see that although they're all doing about 18 kilometers an hour, some of them are actually pushing out more watts than the other ones are. So the guy in the front is obviously going to push more watts out. If you've got 2 or 3 of you, you can all take a longer rest and a shorter term on the front. So hopefully that's given you enough insight into the benefits of drafting. You don't have to arrange it formally with people. You might be in a team ride or a group ride where whoever's leading you might say, look, you know, please don't anybody go above 2 watts per kilogram. That's what the group effort is today. You'll always get people that are super competitive and think, no, I'm going to do 3.2 because that's what I ride on. Right, that's it. That is hopefully enough information for you, and I haven't waffled on too much.